Hi everybody, I'm Charlie, and this is On Air, my Beatles collection. Well, today I'm back with another Christmas record. This is the reissue of John and Yoko's Happy Christmas. And as promised yesterday, it arrived today, and so we're here to talk about it. So I'm going to start with, as I did with the Wonderful Christmas Time yesterday, I'm going to start with the original that came out in 1972. I'm opening the plastic that I keep it in. It came out in 72 in the UK because it was delayed. It actually came out in November of 71 here in the US. Anyway, this is the original picture sleeve with the B-side being Listen, the Snow is Falling. Show you a little closer view of that. And let's go back to the main first side. I notice up here in the corner May Pang, and I believe that's Phil Spector next to her. And that would be the Harlem Community Choir that's in the picture. I keep a cardboard insert in the sleeve so that the sleeve retains rigidity, doesn't get curled up or bent up or anything, and then I keep it in a plastic sleeve as well. Now the record, the first issue here in the US had the official Faces, what's now called the Faces label. It's the Faces label where John morphs into Yoko or Yoko morphs into John, depending upon whether you look at it clockwise or counterclockwise. And of course the record was green vinyl. And here is the green vinyl up close. Now, just for science purposes, we'll talk about whether it's translucent. It is very translucent. We'll take a look at the new one later on and see how that looks, but this one is definitely translucent. You could probably see my hand moving around behind it. So that's the original from November 71 here in the US. And then sometime later, we got this one. This did not have a picture sleeve, but it's on Apple. And it's also translucent green. And of course, it's got the cutaway apple on the other side. So I'm not sure the date on this one. I think it was very soon after the other one. So I don't think it was years later. I think it was maybe weeks or months later. I don't actually recall, and I didn't bother to look it up. And then, several years later, we got this one on Capitol. And this is black vinyl. And there's that. See the Capitol purple label. This is the one that actually has the U.S. Capitol above the word Capitol. Here's the B-side. And I have a Capitol sleeve with this one. So I should have mentioned with this one here, with the previous one, this came in an Apple factory sleeve. If you recall the Beatles on Apple sleeve, well, when they went solo, they got the sleeves that just said Apple. And so this had a black Apple sleeve, which I keep separately, and I don't have it here with me. This one came in a paper sleeve, and this is for jukeboxes only Capitol. This would have probably been 93 or 94. And this is also a very translucent green. More so, you can probably really see my hand behind this one. I'm moving it down so you can see my fingers. Really very translucent. And it's got less clutter on the label than the prior one did. Just I'll hold that up again in a second here. So you can look at these side by side. Seems like there's just more clutter on the purple label. It's a stereo. It has the 1842 serial number, if you will. It says produced by John and Yoko and Phil Spector. All that's on this label. This label has none of that. And that takes us up to the modern day. I've already opened up the new one. I've already put it in plastic, but I'll take it out of the plastic right now. There's the sleeve. Unlike the original one that was, you know, soft, typical soft paper picture sleeve, this one is a cardboard sleeve, much stronger. I've also put the cardboard insert on it to keep it even more rigid. A quick look at it side by side with the original. I bet you can tell which one is the new one. That would be the new one. That would be the new one. As you can see, the original one either was a little bit more off-white or it's just aged a bit. I don't remember it ever being as white as this, as the new one. But you know, when I look at it as a standalone, it looks pretty darn good. And you know, it doesn't seem to be faded or anything when you look at it this way. There's no fade spots or anything. Whatever, if it's changed throughout and not just in one spot. But clearly, side by side, the new one is much more white. It's also much more rigid because it's cardboard and this is paper. And let's look at the record. So here's the record. First thing that's obvious to me, right out of the paper sleeve that I put it in, is it is not translucent. I'll hold it up to the light. No, it is not at all translucent. It's opaque. So it's a very dark, solid green. And you're not going to see my hand except through the spindle hole. Well, I guess maybe you could see a little bit. No, it's not translucent at all. So there won't be any trouble identifying a new one from an old one. And the other thing about this one, it clearly says, produced by John and Yoko and Phil Spector. Ultimate Mix, produced by Sean Arno Lennon. So next to the title, Happy Christmas, War is Over, Ultimate Mix. So this is all part of the New York City, one-to-one, sometime in New York City, all part of that same time period, and therefore also part of the same time period for the Ultimate Mix remix work that Sean has been doing. So that's what you get. These were pretty readily available to those that were aware of them. As I said, mine arrived today. Amazon had them. The John Lennon site, the Beatles store, they have them. They were, you know, if you had the Prime delivery, then you got them delivered for free. If you had to pay for delivery, which you would with the John Lennon store, I'm in a state that has a state sales tax that automatically applied a sales tax. So either way, they wound up being $18 for me. So, but I've seen them higher than that. I've seen them, you know, on eBay and such, you know, for, you know, upwards of $25. But generally speaking, the list price was $14.98, and it cost you about $18 to get it delivered. Of course, if you're in Canada or, you know, in another currency, there's going to be a currency adjustment and all that. But anyway, it's a nice item to have. I'm glad that they redid it. I wish they had actually done a different color, like as they did with the McCartney. You know, McCartney's was red when it was color, but this year it was yellow. So that is Happy Christmas, War is Over, John and Yoko. Listen, the snow is falling, Yoko and John. And that's it for this video today. So thanks for stopping by. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Love to have you here. And come back and see us soon. Take care. Bye.